Agents, listen, real estate is changing and those who adapt will lead. Whether you've been in these real estate streets for years or you are just getting started, what you're about to watch can completely shift how you serve your clients and grow your business. This isn't theory, this is how we turn conversations into closings, conversations into keys that change hands. Watch this video.
Thursday, we just had the biggest rate drop we've had in years. If interest rate was your excuse and or your reason, you no longer have that anymore.
Hey world, I am Makeba Evans, your global real estate professional based here in Metro Atlanta, connecting with phenomenal agents just like you in all 50 states and nearly 30 countries. Around here, we don't just sell properties, we sell earth, baby. Whether you are just starting out or scaling up, this is your hub for systems, strategies, mindset. Build a real estate business that changes lives, starting with yours. If you are a real estate professional ready to grow with community that's redefining what success looks like, I am looking for driven agent partners just like you. Let's get on a one-on-one call and explore how we can build something powerful together. Now, come on, get your digital device, take notes how you choose, and watch this video so you can see how collaboration turns knowledge into closings.
Hey everybody, happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. Welcome in the room. This is the room. We are so glad you guys are here on this Sunday. Excuse me, I am driving, but I am now stationary. But welcome in. We're glad you're here.
Welcome everyone to our home buyers seminar, Conversation the Keys, as we host this every first Sunday of the month. Today is November 2nd, the start of holiday season, right? So welcome. We're going to get started in just a moment. My name is Hakeem Herring, your real estate partner. We have the amazing Makeba Evans.
Hey, how are you? How are you? If everybody can go ahead to my Facebooky page, I am live. Those real estate professionals in the room, go ahead and share it to your people in Facebook world so they can see us live sharing all of this powerful information so we can change lives with real estate. And like Hakeem shared, welcome. Whether you are watching live or tuning in on replay for those in Facebook world, thank you for taking a moment out of your Sunday fun day to be with us. You could be anywhere in the world right now, spending time brunching, binging your favorite show, getting ready for the week ahead, but instead you have chose to invest in knowledge that could actually really shift your financial future. And that is something that we felt was important enough to invite you to, and you felt important that it was important enough for you to take the time to be here. And we are diving into the power of owning real estate. So whether this is your primary home, your investment property, this happens to be a potential opportunity for you to expand your portfolio. Think about long-term wealth. I mean, the beauty of real estate is that it works everywhere, locally, nationally, internationally. So, of course, the process may look a little different depending on where you are. The rules may be different, the markets, financing options, how that flows, but the mentality behind the decision to own is universal. And it's about freedom, stability, legacy. It's about taking control of your story instead of renting space in someone else's place. And the thing about today, is we are all real estate professionals in different aspects of our careers and where we meet you at, where you meet us at. We just want you to know that we are here to be of assistance to you, whether you're ready now or there are some things that need to happen before you will be ready. We want you to take a few moments to invite a friend, however you got here, a family member, a church member, someone in your fraternity, your sorority, a frenemy, shoot, everybody needs somewhere to live and be and call home and fill those halls with memories and love and laughter. And we are talking about real estate today. Again, like Hakeem said, that first Sunday of the month, we're here to love on you and your people and share this wealth building opportunity that begins with you and can last for generations. Hakeem, you can go ahead and take over. I'm having some screen issues. If we can go ahead and let the real estate professionals announce themselves in the room, please.
Sure. All of our real estate professionals, if you wouldn't mind unmuting and have the opportunity to introduce yourself, how long you've been in the business, what you specialize in, any area you specialize in. Who wants to go first?
Well, I'll go first since I am already unmuted. This is
Yeah.
Pam Armistead, all the way from her car. I've been licensed since 1993. I'm licensed in Georgia and Alabama, and my expertise is first-time home buyers, new construction, and REO. And so, yes, those are my expertise.
Thank you so much, Pam. Who do we have next?
Let me
Ladies
see.
first.
Nisi, I see you on the screen next. I can see everything now, y'all. Look, I was checking to make sure it was on Facebook. We own it. We own it.
I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Johnny Cash Scranton here. I've been licensed since 1993. I specialize more so in the residential part. And what my primary focus is showing homeowners how they can actually create wealth through home ownership. And so, glad that you're here today. Be sure to take notes because we have a Q&A at the end. And one thing I just want to stress is that in your pursuit of home ownership or acquiring your next property, etc., you have a team of professionals that's here to do the heavy lifting for you. So glad you're here plugging in.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Who do we have next?
So I'm in my car. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
This is the Carmelita Collier out here in these real estate streets in my car, as same as Pam. We move and shake and we do business wherever we are and wherever we can. But I've been in the business for 24 years and I service anywhere where there's dirt, basically. The earth is my turf, that I like to hear one of my brothers say. But I work with first-time home buyers, investors, families dealing with foreclosures, estate issues. I just love all things real estate. Moving into the build space and development space. So excited about that. But you are in the presence of some mighty professionals that are here to take care of you. So thank you guys again for joining us in this room.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carmelita. And we have Nikki. Okay, we'll go ahead. Let me go ahead and introduce myself while Nikki gets unmuted. My name is Hakeem Herring. I go by your real estate partner, a real estate professional in this business for over 20 years. An advocate of home ownership, advocate of generational wealth and legacy. It all starts with becoming a homeowner. So we actually are a group of real estate professionals. We are here on a monthly basis to pour into you. This is a platform not only for home buyers, but this is for real estate investors, sellers, real estate agents. This is a community where we're sharing knowledge and resources and the opportunity to work with one of the nation's leading mortgage lenders and loan professionals and strategy coaches on the line, who's going to open up a whole nother mindset when it comes to home ownership and the loan mortgage products that are available for you. So I thank everyone for joining us today. You're in for a treat. With that being said,
okay, I just want to make sure you can see my screen.
with that being said, we're gonna kick off the presentation and welcome to your home buying journey. This is a step-by-step guide to help you navigate the home buying process. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, whether you're moving up, whether you're investing. We're here to help simplify the path to home ownership with practical guidance for every step of the way. First step to home ownership, and this is one that you must.
Pam, are you available?
I,
Can you see the screen?
it's kind of tiny, but I did pull it up on my laptop. So
Okay.
okay. So step number one: understand your financial situation. So you're gonna know your budget, your income. Your income will include salary, your bonuses, and any side income or freelance work that you might do. Savings. Savings is important. You want to review your emergency funds and available cash for a down payment. You also want to consider closing costs and moving expenses and immediate home needs. And your expenses that you will need to consider is list all your monthly obligations, including your debt payment, utilities, and subscriptions. Account for variable costs like groceries, entertainment, and transportation. And determine your down payment. Most buyers they put down between 3% to 20% of the borrowing price for the down payment for the house. Step number two, why get pre-approved? I have these conversations all the times with buyers, but why get it pre-approved? It shows the seller that you're a serious buyer. It gives you a clear understanding of your budget, and it speeds up the closing process. Pre-approval versus pre-qualification. So a pre-approval is a thorough review with credit checks and financial documentation. A pre-qualification is informal estimate based on a self-reported information. Now, common mortgage types. You got fixed rate, which is consistent payments for the entire term of your loan. Adjustable rates, which it's initially lower, but over time it changes. And then a government backed, which would be FHA, VA, and USDA with special benefits. Now, working with a trusted lender early in your home buying journey can save you time and stress. Finding your comfortable mortgage payment. While lenders determine what you can afford, defining a comfortable mortgage payment is a crucial personal decision. It's about finding payments that fit your lifestyle without causing financial strain. Ensure you have enough remaining income for savings, debt repayment, and discretionary spending to maintain financial flexibility and peace of mind. Your comfortable payment should allow you to live comfortable, save for the future, and manage unexpected costs, not just cover your loan.
Thank you.
And on to the next person.
Thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate you sharing your area of expertise. We know that you are out in these real estate streets, multitasking, of course, taking care of the potential clients here in this space, those who are going to be able to watch this live or on replay. I see we have a few people in the Facebook world. Thank you so much. And just know that even though you are watching this in a different space, we can see your comments. So if you want to add a question or a heart emoji, fire, let us know that you are in the room participating, although it's in Facebook, but we can still see you there. But thank you, Pam. I do know that you are out in the real estate streets about to actually get out and physically do the real estate part, which is what I'm about to explain now, finding the home, which is what you are doing right now, out with your client, determining the location, the size of your home, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, the yard. What is it that you plan to do? Are you going to have a pool outside? Do you plan on gardening, which means that there needs to be a tree-free area so that your garden can have light? Do you have pets and you need for the yard to be fenced? something that we need to keep in mind while we're looking is those must-haves versus those wants. The things that you must have is something that is going to take a surveyor to come out and a construction company to come make. Like if you need a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 car garage, I don't know, it makes more sense to get a home that already has those things versus one that you're going to have to do some additions to. So a must have is a fireplace, or else you're going to have to do some structural changes in your home versus something you want. I want to have white kitchen cabinets. I want to have flooring that as I take each step into the home, the floor lights up like Michael Jackson. Just think of those things while you are out looking, because as you're out looking, I promise you're going to see so many additional things. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize they put those in homes. Oh my goodness, I could have some windows in my closet for my shoes and my purses. So when you are speaking to your real estate professional, we are having conversations with you to keep you on track and keep you focused while you are out looking for the place for you to call home. And again, like Hakeem has shared, and I spoke about earlier, if this is your first property, we want you to think about it as your first investment property. So as you are in the home, there's some honey-do list things to be done to get it prepared for you to have this as your first property to be in your portfolio. So keep that in mind while you are out looking as well. When it comes time to make the offer, after you have found this home that has the must-haves and the wants that are going to make sense for your life right now, putting in an offer is the next step. You and your real estate professional are going to have a conversation about what your finances look like, what you are going to be able to bring to the table. The contingencies are things that are necessary to help the beginning, middle, and the end take place. And it's all about negotiation and having conversations with yourself, you as a buyer or you as a seller, and your real estate professional, one of us who you are seeing who has invited you to this room. We speak to the other real estate professional who is representing their client. And as professionals, our goal, of course, is to make sure that our client, that you are taken care of, and so is the other agents. So keeping that in mind as we are each kind of on a scale, making sure that everybody that we're representing is going to be okay. The earnest money is typically about 1%, and we'll just use a easy number, $300,000. Say that is the purchase price of the home, so 1% of that will be $3,000 in earnest money. And the earnest money is basically, if you're purchasing the home, for you to let the seller know, hey, I'm serious about purchasing your home, to the fact that, or the point that I am going to take my $3,000 and put it up, put your money where your mouth is to secure your home. And as the seller of the home, just know that that is exactly what the buyer would be doing, putting up 1%. And again, everything is negotiable, just depends on what's most important to you at the time and what the rest of the offer looks like. And something that's important to know as well is the fact that purchasing a home or selling a home, it really doesn't take that long. If it's cash, then typically we're waiting on title to clear. If it is financing, that there are some steps that are necessary to make sure that the buyer is qualifying, but this can happen as quickly. Of course, cash, again, like I said, you're waiting for title. So that could be 10, 14 days. And if you're doing financing, you can have your home sold, or you can be purchasing your home in less than 30 days. Johnny Cash.
Okay, home inspections and appraisal. So I understand there are pretty much three levels of homes. You have new construction, you have rehab home. A lot of time investors coming in and they refurbish the homes. So it's an older home with everything new. And then you have homes where the seller of that home that's been living there for a while is putting their home on the market for sale. So a home inspection, as you can see here, checks off several things, including structural integrity, major systems, inspection, potential safety hazard, evidence of damage or pest. But let's address the let's address the elephant in the room. The inspection fee is pertaining to each individual property that you are considering making a purchase. So that may be concerning for some of you. So let me tell you how to address this properly. When you're doing an inspection, you're going to be doing an observational inspection yourself first before you pay an inspector to come in. Because here's the thing, if you go to a restaurant and you order sirloin steaks, and then they bring you a double-deck hamburger, you're like, hey, wait a minute, that's not what I ordered. So same thing with a house. When you are looking to buy a house, you're looking to buy that house in good order, in good condition. So when you're going through the house with your agent, do an observational inspection. Look at the roof. I mean, not the roof, look at the ceiling. Look for water stains. So a water stain indicates that there's a water leak. Doesn't necessarily mean that the roof needs to be replaced. It could just mean that there's a repair that needs to be done, which, is very easy to accomplish. But these things you need to be aware of. When you go on a lower level and you're looking at the ceiling and you see a water stain, well, that's not the roof. That's potentially a water leak. When you go in the basement, you want to smell for any musty smells. That could be an indication of water intrusion from another area. For instance, if the property has a slope that goes towards the property, right, go over to the wall where the slope, comes into the property, adjust the property, put your hand against the wall. If you feel any moisture or dampness, then, that's concerning. So here's several things you can do yourself. Cut on all the water faucets. I'm just trying to save you some money before you have the inspection. Cut on all the water faucets. See if the water flows like it should. And while the water is flowing, flush the toilet. Now, this could be a major issue, or it could be something simple like just changing the pressure valve, right? But what happens is this gives you a negotiating advantage, because then you can say, here are some concerning areas. And if it's something really concerning like cracks in the wall, which could indicate structural damage, you don't want to pay for an inspection when it's obvious there may be structural damage. But what you can do is negotiate for the seller to pay for the inspection. Say, hey, look, I'm really interested in this property. If you pay for the inspection and share that inspection with me, then you have a negotiation, you can negotiate whether or not you want to move forward. And if you decide not to move forward, now the seller knows what they need to address. Also, on let's say newer properties, it's important to have inspections there also, because those, whatever potential issues that may be present won't be as obvious. For instance, were the permits pulled, meaning the county gave them permission to do certain repairs, because then the county come back and do inspections to make sure it was done right. So your inspector is going to make sure those permits were pulled, especially like for additions, elevated decks, electrical work. And also, you want to make sure, like especially rehab properties, it's kind of like everything's new. Even on new construction, you want to make sure that those warranties are transferred to you. Have it in the agreement that the warranties are transferred to you. The warranty on the new roof, warranty on the new AC, the warranty on the new heater, warranty on the new, whatever the new appliances. So these are things. Now, understand that the inspectors and the appraisers are part of your team. So the appraisal, they're going to come in once you say, hey, you're moving forward. The appraiser is going to do everything in their power to make sure that they get that property approved for your negotiated price. And sometimes they may not be able to find comparable properties in the area, especially like if there's a lot of rehab work that has been done. They may go outside of the area, but nevertheless, they are part of your team. They want to make sure that this works for you. Now, closing the deal. It's before you go to closing, you're going to receive some documents, and the documents are for you to review. This is very, 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 very important. Review the documents. Review the documents. Now, one thing that I suggest is review the documents with your real estate professional, with your real estate agent. Now, your real estate agent has a lot of responsibility. They're like the orchestra. They make sure that all of the pieces come together. They work with the loan officer, they work with the closing attorney, the inspector, the appraiser. They make sure it all comes together. So review it with your real estate agent. The last thing you want to do is go to closing, and then there's something on that settlement statement or in the paperwork that you're confused about. So do it ahead of time. Also, remember, everybody involved is part of your team. So even with the loan officer, if there's some information on your statement you don't understand, pull your loan officer in. They're part of your team. And and then before going to closing, you want to do a final walkthrough. You want to go and make sure that everything that, let's say, for instance, that the seller agreed to do was either done, or if you all made agreement that the repairs will be done after closing, that's fine. But you still want to make sure that the property is still in good standing. For instance, a fire could have occurred, or let's say if it's a mobile home, for instance, you go to closing, and after closing, the guy driving away with the mobile home. So, so you just want to make sure everything is as you expect before going to closing. And then when you go into closing, which means that you're actually authorizing paperwork so that the transfer occurs, the property is transferred to you. On that particular day, you want everything to go smoothly. So that's the purpose of the final walkthrough, and that's the purpose of looking at those documents when they come through, going over those documents with your real estate agent, with your loan officer. And when you get to closing, whew, smooth deal. They just hand you the keys as I'm handing this over to King.
Let's go. Let's go. This is the most exciting part of the entire transaction. You made it to the finish line. You closed on your very first home, and now you are a homeowner, and it's time to move in. Now, there's a couple of things you want to do when you're moving into a home. You want to make sure you're transferring your utilities. Make sure that your home is cleaned, is ready for you and your family to move in. But this is a time for celebration. A lot of times when you purchase your first home, it's a milestone. You're starting your legacy. You're starting generational wealth for your family. And this is a time for you to say you did it, you made it, you are now a homeowner. So we went through the process. Now you're educated. Now you know the steps to become a homeowner. Now it's time. We're going to give you a couple of tips that you want to go over. A couple of tips you want to keep in mind as a first-time home buyer. Number one, know your budget. Your budget is extremely important for you to understand where you are financially, where you are on your credit. So understand as you start the process, you want to know your budget and know your buying power, know where you are. And that's going to start with speaking with a lender and a mortgage professional. Don't skip your inspection. Inspection is extremely important. I always advise the home buyer to join the inspector. Walk the property with the inspector. You want to see exactly what he sees. As he uncovers an item, you want to make note of that because that goes into your list of repairs that you can ask for the seller. Next is going to be plan for the future. This is going to be your homestead for years to come. You want to make sure you're comfortable with this property, with the neighborhood, with the community. Where are the schools? Where are the parks? This is going to be a place for you and your family. And most important, through this process, you want to stay calm, stay connected to your real estate professional. They are here to guide you through the way. They're going to be your partner, your best friend through this entire process. Without further ado, I want to open the floor up for Mr. Paul Conti, our nation's leading lending professional who has a wealth of knowledge in the mortgage space and opportunities for home buyers to become a homeowner. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us. And the floor is yours, sir. You got to unmute for us.
I've only been doing Zoom for 5 years. I still haven't figured out how to work it, so I do apologize. So, Lord Almighty, you guys did a great job. Thank you very much for attending this and opportunity for me to share with you some of the stuff that's compiled in here for coming up on now 27 years. The first thing I want to do on this particular call, Makeba, do us a favor, please. Could you share the screen and show that property that is for sale? We wanted to feature a particular home for sale. So very quickly, I'm going to get you the keys to this house. I'm going to show you how easy, how simple it is to get the keys to this particular house. Makeba is going to pull this up right now. Walk with me, do this together. You can throw things in the chat, but I don't read them because I'm a guy. I can only do one thing at a time. So hopefully, Makeba, Hakeem, somebody will catch those comments in the chat or throw your hand up and stop me. Here's the deal, gang. You're getting the keys to this house. I'm going to show you how simple it is to get the keys to this home. Purchase price $260. I just rounded for the sake of simple math. I think it's $259.9. Yeah. Here's how much you need. Down payment. You all can do this. Take 3.5 and multiply it by any purchase price. 3.5. That is your down payment in dollars. I'm giving it to you in a percentage. So just take the $260, multiply it by 3.5. You need $9,100 to buy this home. That's your down payment. There are two parts to a purchase. I'm showing you the first part. Any questions on the first part and how to come to that calculation? You can plug that into any home. Here's what I want you to see now. The monthly payment, $1,941. Gang, take a breath. What? What? For most of us, you're paying more in rent. Gang, Thursday, we just had the biggest rate drop we've had in years. If interest rate was your excuse and or your reason, you no longer have that anymore. The biggest rate drop, the feds, the president going back and forth fighting, to heck with all that crap. However, we just benefited from this. They just had the biggest drop in a long time. So this payment now that used to be several $100s higher is now under $2,000. That's all in, gang. Principal, interest, real estate taxes, homeowners insurance, mortgage insurance, wrapped it all in one number. That's how you buy the house. Paulie, how do I qualify? How do I know if that's within my budget? I mean, I can make that payment. I'm making it now in rent. But how do I actually mortgage qualify? Very simple, gang. Take that number, divide it by 45%, and it tells you what your monthly income needs to be. So you're essentially talking about somebody making $49,000 a year and acquire that home. Now think about the language that I'm using. You have the ability to acquire an asset to start and or be added to your portfolio. It's an elevated experience when you use elevated language. I'm not buying something. This is not a transaction. I'm acquiring an asset to start my real estate portfolio, because what I'm looking to do is have 10 of these suckers. So I'll buy the first one, get that all prepped up and pretty, and a year or so, I'm going to rent that out. I'm going to go get another one and another one and another one. And you know what? Here's my retirement plan. This working 40 years for a W-2, that's going to get old. Do what you do, gang. I'm just sharing with you. This could be the first of many for all of you and any of you. That's how simple it is. That's the math. I'm going to take a breath. There is more to talk about, but I figure, you know what, right now, let me give you the keys. Thoughts or questions in the chat, or raise a hand. If there's nothing, gang, here's my assumption. Total comprehension. You get it. I try to break it down as simply to make the math work for anybody. It is not difficult to do this once you know the formula. If you like that home, I probably contact Makeba before this call's over, because you can buy it with that. All right.
You always do such a great job of explaining it to us in very basic terms. You know, we're not used to seeing the formulation of hand to paper as you do so well, you know, but it's just powerful. A lot of us may be intimidated by calculations and screens and, you know, not necessarily understanding what the numbers and the math ain't mathing, but it's definitely making sense. So thank you.
I have a question for you, Paul.
Yes, sir.
Like the 3.5% down, right? That's the down payment. How does down payment assistance work for those who get down payment assistance?
So thank you, Hakeem. That was the icing on the cake at the end, but since it was asked, right now. No.
Okay.
If it's on your mind, it's on somebody else's mind. So let's talk about that. Let me bring the sheet back up, right? So the three factors to buy a home: job, credit, money. And the money's a funny one because it doesn't necessarily have to be your money. Don't rob a bank or a gas station. I'm just saying, I'm going to show you how it could be somebody else's money. For the sake of example, entertaining Hakeem's question. Down payment assistance programs. In a nutshell, it is exactly what it says. Paulie, I don't have $9,100 saved. Is there a down payment assistance program? More than likely, yes. Various states have them. Various counties have them. Sometimes the feds have them. And I'm a lender, nation lender, all 50 states. I'm your trusted guy. I personally have down payment assistance programs. For the sake of example, in a scenario like this, you could get up to 3% in down payment assistance. So that means, again, not real good with math in my head. I'm only a mortgage guy, so we'll do it together on the phone. But if it was 260 times 3, that's $7,800. You could get $7,800. You only got to come up with the difference. Down payment assistance programs. Boy, we can go down a heck of a rabbit hole here because there's so many different types out there. But here's the general gist of a down payment assistance program. Generally speaking, I'm making a general statement. If the money is coming from our government, perk your ears, open your eyes. It doesn't mean it's bad, gang. It doesn't mean it's bad. I'm saying, when was the last time our government said, Paulie, here, I'm going to do this for you, and you owe me nothing? Come on now. Just open your ears and your eyes. Generally speaking, a down payment assistance program, for the sake of round numbers, we're going to give you $5,000. We're going to give you $10,000. Here, this is to help you acquire your first asset. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Read the fine print. You don't have to. I will. It's what I do for a living. We can do it together. The fine print says something like this, and it varies, but here's the general gist. We want you to stay in that home for 5 years as your primary residence. After the 5 years, if you decide to continue to stay, you will no longer owe us that money. But if you refinance or sell prior to the 5th year, you have to pay us back plus interest. Can you stay there for 5 years? Yes, great. I just want you to understand what you're signing. It doesn't mean don't take it. I'll take your money. Let me just make sure I know what it is that you want in return. Sometimes there's what's called a silent second mortgage. So they're going to put a lien against the property and they're going to accrue interest, or at a lower interest rate or a higher interest rate, or over an extended period of time, or we want this paid back in 10 years. There's nothing wrong with getting assistance at all. I just need you to understand what it is that you're signing. And this is not your career, this is ours. So it would be our responsibility to help you to the best of our ability understand what it is that you are willing to partake in. So when I show you numbers, there are programs that can assist you. I was helping a woman this past week. She has accumulated $5,000 in the home she wants to buy. She needs 15. I had a grant that would give her 10 grand, but she said, Paulie, I plan on renting this out in a year. So what would happen then? We don't want this money because this has to be your primary residence. So it's like, okay, I don't want to do that then. I don't want the 10 grand. I'll save it on my own. So I have the ability to leave that home, rent it out, and go buy another one. Fantastic. Wonderful strategy, gang. And to Makeba's point, she actually said you're buying your first investment property. I mean, she's really right. Think about this. If the average person statistically buys or sells a home every 6 years, and you're alive on this planet for the next 50 years, how many homes is that you could have kept instead of selling to buy? I'm not saying do it or don't. I'm just saying, wow, think about Makeba's comment. It's a beautiful comment. Beautiful comment. So by the time you're age 70, you've got, I don't know, 10 properties, all bringing in $1,000 a month. Maybe. I'm getting off topic. The down payment assistance program. Hakeem, did I answer it properly?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions
For
on that?
sure, for sure.
Yes,
We hear what you're saying in that we don't want to be spectators, because when things happen in the secular situation of the housing market, there are a lot of people on the sidelines saying, I shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Always.
Always.
So I'm from Jersey. I'll do the quick story based on what Makeba's talking about. I'm from Jersey, Italian. Obviously, I don't know a waste garbage management system, nothing like that. But I'm from Jersey, Italian. Wildwood, New Jersey. If anybody knows it, my goodness, Wildwood, New Jersey. You could have bought a house a block off the beach for $250,000 about 10 years ago. You can't touch them today for less than 1.2. It's the same house. The people didn't touch it. So I just did exactly what Makeba did. I'm pissed off. I yell at my wife. I'm pissed off at me. It's the same story, gang. And nobody ever said, boy, I wish I would have bought that. It went down in value. No, it rarely happens. Rarely happens. So now let's talk about part 2 of the purchase. I shared with you part 1, which was the down payment. Well, there are other factors. There's a part 2. They call them closing costs. So I'll give you an example. When you go to buy a shirt from the store, you bought the shirt and you left. You're done. One part to the transaction. You paid for the shirt and you left. In real estate, there are many people that are involved in that transaction, behind the curtain and in front of the curtain. Some you'll never even meet because they do various things that are administrative, but they're still earning because of the participation and work that they're doing. That encompasses closing costs. If you were to put an umbrella over closing costs, whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of stuff. On a home like that, you're probably talking about $5 or $6 grand. So you got the $9,100 up front. You got another, let's call it $6 grand for the closing costs. So you're $15,000. Down payment assistance money. It can come from all different sources, even your family. Mom, dad, aunt, uncle, brother, cousin, sister. How about your grandparents? I love this one. Grandpa, help me out here. Don't you want to visit your grandchildren in this beautiful home? What are you waiting until you die for? Give me my inheritance now. I needed to buy the house, Grandpa. That's Italian style right there. You do whatever you want, gang. But listen, I always say, I'd rather give my kids something in life than in death because I get to experience it with them. What am I waiting for? They can't thank me. I can't use it as leverage or guilt if I'm dead. Let me do that. I'm exaggerating, but gang, think about this. I want to see my grandkids in a beautiful home. So what am I going to do with my son? Help out any way imaginable. And we do. By the grace of God, we do. So I just share that as an altered perspective. The money can come from various sources. Okay. And if something hits you throughout the call, Paulie, can you go back and talk about that? Absolutely. Just stop me. Gang, ask yourself this question. Do you love your landlord more than you? Now, maybe it's your mom or your dad, so maybe, I don't know, but let's just make a blanket statement here. Do you love your landlord more than you love you? The question is interesting because almost every single person says, I obviously love me more than my landlord. Then help me understand, every month you reach into your pocket, take your money out, and invest in his real estate future. Remind me again who you love more. I'm not saying renting is good. I'm not saying renting is bad. I'm just going to bring to you today an altered perspective that maybe you see things differently. And we start to identify, because I talk to thousands of people since 97, I've been licensed, gang, thousands of people. Many of them didn't know they could. They weren't sure. It always felt like this insurmountable dream that happens for other people, not me. But in reality, again, if you're working, you got a little money, little schedule, and some credit, you're a homeowner. So today we decide, you know what? I do love me more than my landlord. Show me the steps to get to the point where maybe someday somebody's paying me to live in my home. How do you liking that? It's easy, gang. You ready? All right, so here we go. Let's do this first. Let's first identify. I don't know. You can decide. I don't know if I should listen to somebody tell me about my future that does not share my beliefs, meaning the television, the politicians, the media, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't care what side you're on. I'm on the common sense side. So if I listen to somebody that tells me everything that's wrong, they're going to have an impact on me. It's called the placebo effect. They're going to have an impact. And I allow them in. You don't align with my beliefs, my desire, my objectives. Why am I giving you space up here? So when somebody tells you, think about this, gang. Everybody on the call, think about this. How many industries does the government get involved on a weekly or monthly basis talking about good, bad, right, or wrong? They're always talking about real estate, interest rates, economy, money. They're never talking about landscapers. They're not talking about architects. They're not talking about what they're always coming after this. Why? That's a whole nother discussion for another day. But my point is this: if you don't align with my beliefs, you don't get my time. You don't get my time. You don't get my ear. You don't get my brain. You don't get my heart. For me, gang, for you, it could be something different. It's the 4 F's: faith, family, finance, fun. If you're not in alignment with those things, you don't get my time, because they would be pulling away from those things that are very valuable to me. They don't have to be for you. So when I share that with you, put yourself in an environment, if what I say makes sense to you, that shows you how. Doesn't say, no, it's too much, it's too expensive, it's too costly, not a good move. Don't tell me that. Show me how. Empower, educate, and embolden me. Don't try to scare me with fear. Educate me with cheer. Lift my spirits. Encourage and empower me, and show me how to accomplish what other people accomplished. That's my thought process. So I'm going to share that with you today to show you how simple home ownership is. I believe home ownership is a mentality up here, as everything is. We must believe it first before we can achieve it. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. So the first thought would be this. Easiest thing to typically talk about would be job. Job. So I'm going to write this on the board. I'll title it as job. Income. Income. Now, I'm going to give you the general outline. We look at income, and there are factors to determine what you will qualify for with your income. Yes, it would be nice to be in that $2 million home, but you make $40,000 a year. That payment on that home will exceed your ability to make it. So you might be able to get into the house today, but next month you'll be in foreclosure. It's not going to work, right? So I appreciate the idea of, yes, I want to be in that. Hakeem made a point before that we're talking about, and Pam did a great job too, pre-qualified, Pre-approved. What does that mean, gang? Well, we need to look at your income. So let's do some simple math. Very, very simple math. You all can do this with me on my phone. We can do it together. Holy, I make $5,000 a month. At $5,000 a month, multiply that number by 45%. You can have a mortgage that high. It doesn't mean you want one that high, but you have access to money for a mortgage that high or that low, depending on your perspective. Take your monthly gross, not annual. We look at the monthly gross. What are you bringing in? Multiply it by that. That's where you're at. Gang, the average rental property, 3-bedroom home in Atlanta is like $2,600 to rent. Plus, goes up from there. Plus, you could practically own it for that. We just showed you that earlier. There's no reason. Now, let's talk about job or income. Here's where we have a blanket statement. Standard operating procedure. However, we can use Social Security. That's income. We can use permanent disability. That's income. We can use money coming in from your investments. That's income. I have a client, Paulie, I got $500,000 in an account and I'm drawing $80,000 a year. That's your income. That's your job. You're not actually employed, but that's the income calculation we can use. Gang, for those that are self-employed, I can use flow from your bank statements, money coming into the bank statement, no pay stubs, no W-2s, no typical job kind of stuff, no tax returns. Don't want to see any of that. Just give me 12 months of bank statements. We take a rolling average. Paulie, I don't even want to show you that. There's some things on there that I buy that I don't want you to see. No problem. Keep your bank statements. Show me nothing but an asset statement. I got $1 million in the bank. Great. We can come up with a formula to determine what your income is off of that. You have no job. You're just showing us assets. Or you go to your accountant and your CPA writes a letter that says, here's what Paulie Conti makes a year. It's called a P&L letter. We could use that. The point I'm making right now is this, gang. There's a lot of creativity in the mortgage industry that can help someone acquire an asset, a home, that didn't necessarily think they could because on paper doesn't look like they qualify. You could be unemployed. Your mother could be a co-signer. You're approved. You have no income. You have no job. It doesn't matter. If the person that is coming on the loan with you does have an income and can support the loan, you are approved. That's your home. How do you like that?
Hey, are you still with me? That tells me you are different. You're not just watching, you're learning, growing, and looking for what's next to help elevate your business and change your life. And this is what real collaboration looks like. Agents across the country working together, helping sellers, buyers, investors succeed through both traditional and creative financing. Remember, if you're ready to elevate your business, your mindset, your network, this is your moment. Reach out, schedule a one-on-one so we can see what partnership could look like for you and I. Now let's get back into this video.
There are many, many ways you can acquire a home. So we are looking some form of income, some form of cash flow that warrants or justifies the payment you're about to have, that you can make it and don't end up in trouble in 3 to 6 or 9 months. We don't want to see that. We want this to be a very enjoyable experience, one you're proud of, happy to have people over, not just for the first couple of months, for years to come. That's the thought process. This can come from so many different forms, gang. I could probably spend a half hour on that call. So my point to you is this. If income, money, is coming into the household, or there are other family members where there is income coming into the household, you can qualify from an income perspective. I'll take any questions about the income, please, before I go to the next one.
I know you must be doing a stellar job. I mean, Paula, you're explaining it to us like we can understand it. So I'm not surprised there aren't any questions.
That's wonderful. Thank you for the compliment. All right, gang, here we go. Number 2, credit. Credit. Here we go. Credit. This is interesting. The first thing I want to share with you is this. Credit scores range from 0 to 850. 0 to 850. In the mortgage world, we want to see a minimum of a 550. Did anybody here, don't raise your hand, did anybody here graduate college with a D? Gang, it took me 7 years to get a 4-year degree. Come on now. I graduate. You know what? I still got a diploma. Hey. My point is this. A 550 is equivalent to a D in school. But you still got a home. I'm a homeowner. Nobody ever said to you when you bought a home, what was your credit score? They never asked you that, ever. Did you ever go on a date and ask your date, I need to know what your credit score is. I'm going to pull your FICO. What? We don't do that. It's an interesting number. We're very proud of it, and we're very embarrassed by it. And nobody ever asked for it, except me, because I'm the mortgage guy. So don't worry about your credit. Listen, gang, in this business since 97, I've seen everything. There is nothing you are going through that I haven't experienced, seen, or helped people through. Bad things happen to good people. So what? Next. Don't worry about that number. Don't worry about your credit. We can work through it together. If you have a desire, I'll get you there. There isn't a credit report I can't fix. Now, let me share this with you. When someone has an 800 score, they have access to more things than the guy with the 550. Let's apply a little common sense to this. Well, I want my score higher because I want access to more. Great. That's the idea. But can you purchase now with the 550? The answer is yes. So don't run from me because you think you got a D. So what? You still got a diploma. So now let's talk about this. Paulie, what are some of the things I can do to improve my score? Well, first of all, this is what I'm going to tell you. Get with your agent, get with me, and I will give everybody on this call my credit cheat sheet. Here are some things on my credit cheat sheet. Let me share this with you first. My children, when they turned, I have 3 kids, Marco, Roman, Francesca. When they all turned 18, they had 750 credit scores. 750. How's that possible? They just turned 18. You all can do the exact same thing. I added every one of my children on my credit cards as authorized users reporting to credit. Authorized users reporting to credit. They do not have the ability to charge anything. They just get the benefit of my 10-year good payment history now populates on their name. Boom. Don't tell me credit is your hurdle. No, it's not. You just didn't know. Now you're going to know. Netflix. I'm not saying like them. I'm not saying get them. I'm telling you, Netflix reports the credit. If your Netflix account isn't, you need to get it to report to credit. I'll show you how to do that with my cheat sheet. Your utility bills, report to credit. Here's the big kicker, gang. The rental payment you've been making reports to credit, but it's not doing it now because you didn't tell your landlord, because you didn't know. That's why you come to a call like this. On my cheat sheet, it'll tell you exactly what to do to get your landlord to report your rental history to credit. Gang. And they also do a 2-year look back. Now, keep this in mind. If you've been late on your rent, don't do this. Only if you paid your rent on time. But they'll go back 2 years. Gang, for most people, in my experience, we're seeing 40 to 60 point increases with that trick alone. All this is legal, otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it, especially not on a recorded line. I'm kidding. I wouldn't tell you to do anything illegal. Now, I'm going to send that to you. There's more. There's a lot of tips on there. Things you could be doing immediately to establish credit if you don't have it, or get the scores bumped up. Here's the caveat. It is very difficult for anybody, any company, any firm. Do not buy into this. It is very difficult for any company to improve your credit scores if you're currently delinquent. There's a lot of commercials out there. I'm going to share this with you, whether you know this or not. Right now, in our country alone, we have $1.3 trillion in consumer credit card debt. 1.3 trillion. It's nutty, folks. Never been this high. So now, who's coming out of the woodwork? Consolidation companies, home equity companies, credit repair companies, coming out of the woodwork to come and help you. Interesting. Be cognizant of what it is that you're potentially signing or getting involved in. Please. I can help you. Here's how I'm going to give you a little guidance. If you've ever been to the doctor, if there's anybody on this call that's been to the doctor, you will appreciate what I'm about to share with you. You go to the doctor either for an annual checkup or because you're sick and you want them to find out what's wrong. You go there and they do what? They take blood work. And then you wait until the blood work comes back and the doctor gives you an analysis, a breakdown, a result of the blood work. You don't start treating something before you know what's wrong. Blood work. You don't start treating yourself for high blood pressure if you don't have it. That makes no sense at all. My point to you is this. Please do not self-medicate when trying to fix your credit. Come to the credit doctor. Come to me first. Let me look at credit. Let me analyze the credit. Let me then talk to you about credit, and I'll give you a script just like a doctor if there's something on credit that we need to address, because you trying to self-medicate on something that might not impact you would be a mistake, a waste of energy and money. Meaning, here's an example for you. Paulie, I have a collection on my credit. I want to clean that up before I buy a house. Why? Well, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Not necessarily. I'm not telling you not to pay your bills. Here's what I am telling you. A collection that has laid there dormant for 2 years has zero impact. Zero impact. A repossession of a vehicle after 2 years has zero impact. If you go and pay that, you have just reactivated the timeline that negative bill is going to have an impact. You've resuscitated it. You've brought it back to life. Don't do that if what I'm saying makes sense to you. If you just want to clear your conscience and that's just what you want to do, knock yourself out. But you have just now reactivated bad debt even though you paid it. Weird, I know. That's why I say come to the doctor first. Let me take a look at the blood work. Let me take a look at the credit. Then we'll decide what the best moves are for you based on the decision that you want to make. I'll give you one more tip. Credit cards are the most powerful form of manipulating credit. More than a mortgage, more than a car, more than just about anything, because the credit cards are unknown. You have a $2,000 approved limit. This month you only owe $100. Next month you owe $2,100. The payment was $25. Now it's $250. That variable is what we use to manipulate the system to increase your scores. Generally speaking, whatever the high approved limit is on your credit card, 20% of that high approved limit or below is what you keep on the card. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. And I've taught my children and many thousands of folks. I will go and charge $2,000. Let it report to credit, and the next day, pay it down to $5. And then I'll let that run for the next 2 months. So I let them see a high balance, and then I pay it down to 5, and I let that run for a couple months. What that does to the algorithm is this. Wow. At a moment's notice, this guy charges a lot, but he can also get rid of it. He's a strong buyer. He's a strong consumer. He knows how to manage his money. But if I charge $2,000 and then it went to 22, then it went to 24, then it went to 28, holy crap, they're doing some predictions now. This guy's in trouble. So I use all of that to my advantage. I find out when my credit cards report to the agencies. We report on the 15th. Great. On the 14th, I'm going to charge $2,000. I'll let the $2,000 report on the 15th, and on the 16th, I'm paying it down to $5, and I'll let that run for a couple months. You play with that one. I'm going to show you how to do that, gang, if you need the information. You already got an 800 score? You don't need the information. You know what you're doing. And keep in mind, that authorized user reporting to credit, that doesn't have to be a family member. That can be anybody. Anybody. Questions or thoughts about credit?
There's
All right.
nothing in the chat, Paulie. It's all quiet.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm taking this.
You're doing good. You're doing
taking
good.
this-
Keep going.
All right, now, lastly, I'll leave you with this. Icing on the cake. I hear this a lot. Credit Karma. My credit scores are on Credit Karma this. Gang, listen to me very carefully. Credit Karma. Other systems like Credit Karma are wonderful consumer information sites. Their scoring model isn't real. There are 2 scoring models we use. One is called Vantage. One is called FICO. Lenders use FICO. Credit Karma and other consumer systems use Vantage. You can't buy a stick of gum with Vantage. However, a lot of people put stock in that score. My score is a 750 on what? Credit Karma. Oh, damn it. Let me talk to you about what that means. I don't want to take the wind out of your sail. I'm educating all of you right now. We use FICO, so your Credit Karma score means nothing. It is their own system. It is the Vantage system. So I need to provide clarity to all of you with that. It doesn't mean don't use them. It doesn't mean they're bad. I'm just saying use them for what you can use them for. Following credit, reporting to you, giving you information. They're wonderful. The score means nothing. It means nothing. You can't do anything with it, gang. Questions or thoughts about those systems? We got some more crickets. I love it.
Nothing at all, but I know everyone on the line is definitely learning something, a tidbit, a nugget that they did not know about credit, because many of us are oblivious. We see Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, ooh, magic, Credit Sesame, but what is it opening? Is that, like you said, the score is stimulating, because also what they share with you when you see that score is what credit card you could potentially qualify for.
Come on now. Follow the money, gang. Just follow the money. If it's not a system that I can use, if it's not real, if I can't get a mortgage, if I can't do this, I don't understand. Are they selling you something? Follow the money. They do provide good information. Just follow the money. And again, keep in mind, you're coming here today by the grace of God, fortunately, to learn something about home ownership and all the things that are attached with it. It's a mentality. Get around the people that are going to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve and not tell you no. Here's what I tell everybody. You're approved. You are going to become a homeowner. Some tomorrow, some in a month, some in 3 months. Depending on what your situation is, you're going to get the keys. You're going to get the keys. Now, if we say, okay, you see this credit card? You're approved for $2,000. You owe $2,500. That's really bad. Yeah, but I'm paying it on time. I know, but I want you to look at something. When we look at that, that is giving you negative hits on your credit because you have exceeded what you're approved for. Why they let it happen? It's a game, gang. It's they can charge you more in interest. They could charge you more in fees. It's just a game. Understand the game. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're paying your bills on time. You want someone to look at your blood work just like you want someone to look at your credit. You don't run from that, you run to that. Now, one more thing. When we're looking at credit, I want you to understand this. Husband, wife, son, dad, whatever. When you have more than one person on the mortgage application, the approval defaults to the lowest scoring borrower. Dad's got an 800. Yeah, but you got a 564. Well, how about if we just use dad's? Okay, then we need to get you off. You come off, now we can just use dad's. As soon as you go on, it defaults to the lowest scoring borrower. All right, here we go. Lastly, money. You want to have some form of money. Gang, I say this because I want you to understand this concept. If you qualified for a rental, you qualify for a mortgage for a purchase for your own home. In a typical rental situation, they want to see that you make 2 or 3 times the monthly rent. They want upfront payment. They want a security deposit, first and last month's rent. That's what a down payment is on a purchase. It's the same thing, gang. So if you qualified for renting, you probably qualify for buying. And now that we've had the biggest interest rate decrease in years, more of you will qualify. You will either qualify for a bigger home than you thought you could afford, or you can finally qualify for the home that you now can afford. You run to this, not from this. At the very least, understand your options. I say money because I shared with you earlier that money can come from all different sources. You want to have some money, in my perspective, having done this for many, many years. I refer to it as a God forbid fund, because I think when somebody talks about something really dramatic, they're like, oh, God forbid that should happen, at least in the Italian household. God forbid that happens again. My Lord, listen to me. It's God forbid money. I would encourage and empower and assist you to say, hey, you have enough money to buy the house, but if and when something happens with your health, with a child, with a vehicle, with anything, where's the God forbid stash? What do we got? We got money in the mattress. We got money in the bank. Where's it at? Let's talk about that. So I'm not going to tell you, you should not buy because you don't have $10,000 left. I'm not going to say that to you, because I bought a home and didn't have 10 grand. I bought many homes and didn't have 10 grand left over. It's funny how, gang, listen, when you get what it is that you wanted, amazingly, you fight harder to keep it. That might be a spouse, a relationship, money, a house, a car. Sometimes we have to move into that to realize what it's like to keep that. I hear this phrase quite frequently off the related topic, but it really isn't. Live beneath your means. Live beneath your means. What does that mean? Well, as a perspective coach, here's my experience. A lot of people take that, and I believe they apply it incorrectly, meaning they live beneath their potential to justify living beneath their means. When you're attempting to acquire your first, third, fifth piece of real estate to add to your portfolio, sometimes when we look at that number, oh my goodness, but then I'm a homeowner. It's a 30-year fixed mortgage. I'm stuck for 30 years. No. You're more stuck in the rental than you are a home. You know why? Because on the rental, you signed a 2-year lease. Try and break that lease, see if they don't come after you. Oh, they're coming. They're coming. You know what you can do with your house? You could sell it. I'm out. I don't want to do this. You can sell it. I'm not saying you should. I'm just giving you an example, looking at a different perspective. Here's what I did on some of the homes that I purchased for the sake of this example. When I was in my home, I wanted to buy a bigger home. Why? Ego, pride, prove it to myself and my family, bigger family, all the reasons, combine them in a pot, right or wrong, good or bad. So what I did was, when I found out what the new payment was, for the sake of math, let's just say $3,000. For the next 6 months, I put $3,000 aside. $3,000, $3,000. I paid myself the mortgage payment every month for 6 months. But by the time the house was done being built and we moved in, I'm like, damn, I should have got the pool. I've been making this payment to myself with no problem. Man, why did I do that? I what? Lived beneath my potential because I was justifying living beneath my means. I don't want anybody to put themselves in financially harm's way to prove a point to yourself or me. I'm giving you an example that it's amazing that when we get into something, how hard we work to achieve and retain it and then do it again. When I was a gym teacher many, many years ago, we're getting off on a tangent, but I'm having fun. When I was a gym teacher many years ago, my monthly income was $1,900. I love being a gym teacher. $1,900 with a wife that's never worked in 35 years and a second child on the way. $1,900 was my take home. A buddy of mine says, "What? That's my car payment." I said, "What did you say?" He said, "Yeah, that's my car payment." I'm like, "Wait a second. You have a car that you're paying $2,000 a month for?" He said, "Yeah." I'm like, "I know, it's a gorgeous car. I'm in it all the time. $2,000 a month? Yeah, that's my car payment." Perspective. Perspective. If you hang around broke people, that's your perspective. Find somebody who's got a $2,000 car payment and say, "How did you do that? And can you teach it to me?" That's when I got in the mortgage business, gang. That's what did it. That's exactly what did it. I was living beneath my potential because I bought into the idea to live beneath your means. No way. No way. So the step from here, gang, I am your walking mortgage, finance, credit encyclopedia. I am here for you every day. As you can see, by the grace of God, Hakeem, Makeba, and Carmelita call me, "Paul, we need you on a Sunday. It doesn't matter. This is the Lord's day." Well, guess what? The Lord just put 15 people in front of you. You need to teach them what you need to teach them. That's why I'm here. So go to the real estate agent that brought you. Tell them I need to get on a call with Paulie. I need to do all the things that he talked about today in preparation to acquire my first, third, fifth piece of asset. That is the next step, gang. We need to take a look under the hood with the credit, the income, talk about numbers, give you the education, empower you, embolden you, and put you on the path that you want to be on. We are here for that. Any questions in closing for me, gang?
Nothing at all. We always value your time, your area of expertise, the people who will be watching this live on Facebook. We have people now, those people who are going to be checking us out on a replay on YouTube or Facebook as well. Paulie has opened the door for you to ask those powerful questions that you may think aren't the most intelligent ones to ask, but we want you to lean on us as professionals versus www. Wherever out in cyberspace you may be getting info. This is just not about clicks. This is about changing your life. And we want you to see, feel, know, hear, love. I mean, many of us have been in homes, whether it was the home that you grew up in, or maybe your family never owned a home, but you had a friend's house that you went over and you love the energy in their family home. And there's no reason for you not to make the sacrifice necessary, like Paulie just spoke about, making those adjustments in our lifestyle temporarily. We're not going to go spend that money on Starbucks or eat out fast food. We have to pull our hair up in a ponytail instead of getting it done. You know, whatever it is to make the sacrifice, we have the path and the plan for you to reach out to the real estate professional who has invited you into the room. The next step would be to have a conversation with Paul Conti and the team to see what your path and your plan are going to look like, because everyone's is different. You know, the reason that you came and that you showed up is because your interest was peaked, and we don't want you to walk away the same way that you came in the room. Your timeline, of course, is different for each and every one of you. The property style, the property type may be different. Of course, your location is different. Whether you are going to purchase your first home, maybe it's your next home. This could be the investment property. You're relocating. The point is, home ownership is going to change your life. You know, that first time home buyer, this decision could be for you to purchase a duplex, a triplex, a quad, where you live in one unit and you rent out the others. Everybody's journey is different, but the thing again is that we can all take this journey together with you. And we want you to share this video, tag a friend, a family member. Again, like I said, a friend of me. Reach out to the real estate professional who connected you here. We can assist you in all 50 states. We can assist you globally. So wherever you are, however you are hearing this message, we have the people. If it's not us, we know the people who can assist you, and we're going to stay connected with you and continue on this journey with you. We don't want you to miss the moment to turn this conversation to keys into something life-changing for you and your family and the generations to come after you. Agents, thank you again, for being a part of this journey. Carmelita, Hakeem, do either one of you have anything that you would like to say before we end on this Saturday, November the 2nd? Sunday, November the 2nd.
The days are rolling. The days are rolling.
I saw you and Carmelita yesterday in real life, man. I'm trying to hold on.
Man, this is extremely important that we pour back into our community. We give this knowledge, this information. Again, home ownership is the path. I'm a firm believer. I want to thank Mr. Paul Conti for joining us and always pouring into us on the first Sunday of every month. This is a conversation to keys. Again, if you know of someone looking to buy a home, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a real estate professional, investor. This is the place to get plugged in. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, when it comes to creative strategies, when it comes to getting a deal done, we put you in front of the man. So if a deal could get done, it's gonna get done through Paul Conti. Make sure you plug in. Did we drop a number? Did we drop the telephone number, Paul?
I don't know if I was supposed to do that, boss. I'm just here in service to the team. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, just reach out to us and we will connect you with Paul for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to make sure that you don't miss out on this goodness.
Appreciate that, gang. I'll leave you with this little cherry too. It's not about sacrifice, work harder, save. You're already doing it. You're already paying rent. You're sacrificing your real estate future for somebody else's. If you don't change it, you've chosen it. You are in control, gang. And with the right people in your life, it's a lot easier than it's ever been before. God bless every one of you. Looking forward to helping everybody.
Thank you. And thank you, Carol. We see that you shared in the chat that this was very informative. We appreciate you being here. Reach out to the real estate professional that invited you so we can change your life with real estate as well. Have a great one, everybody. Okay. Did you enjoy that? Well, I hope it sparked something in you because information only matters when it turns into action. I'm helping phenomenal agents just like you build clientele to have wealth, create those conversations and connections, one closing at a time. So let's keep rising, keep connecting, keep turning conversation into keys. Agents, listen, real estate is changing and those who adapt will lead. Whether you've been in the game for years or you're just getting started, what you have watched can completely shift how you serve your clients and how you grow your business. I look forward to seeing you in the next video or having a conversation with you. Have a great one. Peace.